Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another show, and the content keeps coming thick and fast for you here on the Blind Gooner, and also welcome to viewers on Arsenal FC Fans Facebook page. I hope you're all having a wonderful evening so far, wherever you are, or a wonderful day, depending on your country of residence. So yeah, I hope you're all doing well. Listen, we're going to preview the game tomorrow. We've got another game against Norwich, and this time we're at home, which is a good thing. Which probably won't make much of a difference with the no fans in attendance. But yeah, listen, it'll be good to watch us at home again. Hopefully, we can pull off another result and keep that momentum going. And my guest this evening, Nitesh is joining us very shortly. He's just finishing off with his blooming prostitute, and then he'll be in. So we've got, first of all, we got Simpy. How are you, Simpy?
Hey, yeah, I'm good, thanks, Daniel. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad at all. Just enjoying the evening. Just had a Subway for tea, which was rather nice. You can't beat a good old Subway. A nice toasted chicken and bacon melt, which was rather nice. I can hear you in the background there, Simpy.
Yeah, starving as well. That sounds so good.
Yeah, along with they've started doing nachos as well, so I've just had those, which is pretty good. And also we got Sam. So how are you, Sam?
I'm all right, Daniel. Nice to see you again, and big up Simpy and everyone else in the chat. All the regulars in the chat. Nice to see everyone there. Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. Hope you're well. I already know you're okay now, but yeah, it's good to see you again.
I would say it's nice to see you too, but then it'd be lying because I can't see you. So I just have to improvise on that one. So yeah, listen, we're going to get into the preview. Simply let me know when Nitesh is backstage,
sure.
doing his hair and makeup, and I'll add him in. But yeah, guys, do fire up them likes as well. You know the drill. Fire up the likes and subscribe if you are new to the channel.
Yeah.
And Simpy, if you would like to, I don't know whether you've got access to your computer there. If you'd like to pull up Arteta's press conference, and we'll quickly run through that before we get into the actual preview.
Okay, I'll just quickly find it. Here it is. Spinning around. Okay, click there. Share screen. Screen 2. Yep. Bang.
Right, and I'm just going to add Simpy's screen in.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Right, so yeah, this one's titled Arteta on Norwich, Ozil and Aubameyang. So I'll just zoom in again a bit more so everyone can see. So I'll just start on what he said. So one of the main things he mentioned was about the mood and the confidence in the group. So now we've won 2 games in a row. So obviously against Southampton and Sheffield United. So he said, yeah, after winning, it's always much more positive and happy around. We had a really difficult start in terms of the fixtures. We played 4 games away, so it was always going to be a challenge. We're happy to win the last ones, and the mood around the camp is much better. So everything seems all fine and dandy within the camp, which sounds good. So hopefully they can carry on the positive attitude towards Norwich tomorrow night.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I'll skip some of the other bits about the home games and stuff. He did mention about catching up to the top 5 teams. So he said that every single game now is basically a must win, even though we knew it already, if we want any chance of finishing in any European places. He also mentioned about David Luiz's injury, saying he's not really a player that picks up a lot of injuries, so it was quite bad to see him uncomfortable. He's had a scan this morning, but he's willing to play. But I've got a feeling I think he's going to put him on the bench, or he's not going to play and just rest him ready for that Wolves game that's coming up. Kieran Tierney said he's happy with Tierney, and there was also, if people remember, he was carrying a Tesco 5p bag with all his toiletries in, when other players had like the Gucci and Louis Vuitton bags that cost like hundreds of pounds. And Arteta said it just shows you how like down to earth Kieran Tierney is. One of the main points that came out was to do with Guendouzi and Mesut Ozil. So obviously, both have now been dropped from the squad like fully. Ozil was obviously on the bench against Southampton, but didn't come on. And he said he wants to get everybody in his squad, like get the maximum out of everybody in the squad. And if they're willing to learn, then willing to learn and take part, basically everyone is welcome. And then he was asked again on whether they're both willing. So if Ozil and Guendouzi are both willing, and he just came out with, I always hope that the players want to give their best. So that was quite a generic answer, really. And then there was also, I've just seen Tyrone put it in the chat as well, so big up Tyrone. If you remember, I think we discussed this a while back. It was to do with William Saliba. He got into the cup final, I think it's Saint Etienne against PSG, and he should have been an Arsenal player like already, but because of the whole virus situation and stuff, the cup final, I think it got shuffled back quite a bit. So I think Arteta said he's given Saliba the chance to play in that cup final because he deserves it to get the team there. But the only problem, I think I discussed this earlier with Kevin, was imagine Saliba like breaks his leg or something, like a serious injury in that, and he's out for a year or so, then it'd just be typical Arsenal. So it's a bit of a risk playing in that, but I get why Arteta's let him play it, really. And then final thing, just to wrap up, he mentioned about Norwich, saying about how low they are on the table, but it's like a relegation fight, so they'll be doing everything in their power to win the game. He's seen how they've played before, and then he also said about the Man United game as well. So he said that they tried well against Man United, and they almost got a result there. So they're going to be fit and up ready for the fight against Arsenal. And that is it really. Other than there was one major thing as well. It's to do with Aubameyang. So he was asked about Aubameyang's contract, and he came out and said, "I don't have any updates. Sorry." That's all he said on Aubameyang. And yeah, I think that's it really. Other than player fitness and injuries. So if you want me to give a quick update on the player. Sorry guys, if people watching the screen's getting a headache because I'm just scrolling through quick. All right, here we go. So medical update then. So Cedric Suarez is back in full training and available for selection. Yay. So there's a chance we could see him in this game. We could see him on the pitch for a few minutes, or we could see him starting. So I don't think he'll start, but we'll probably see him on the pitch at some point. Hopefully when we're winning, he comes on at the end just to secure it up.
Hopefully we can see him instead of Bellerin.
Yeah, well, who knows. Lucas Torreira back in full training, being assessed ahead of Norwich on Wednesday, so I don't think he'll play. Maybe get a few minutes, or maybe he'll be rested for the Wolves game. Mesut Ozil again, being assessed because of his back injury. David Luiz, his right knee, is being assessed again for Norwich. And then the others, Leno, we know, is going to be back in about 4 weeks. But I think I've said this. I'd rather just rest him now and bring him back fresh after a summer's training camp and get him up to full fitness. Because if he comes back in and injured again, then we're a bit screwed. Then Mari again, full training 2 to 3 months. Martinelli, Chambers, they're all out until probably September, October time.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much everything that I've got as an update from Arteta's conference and the player injury updates. So I hope that was okay for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, so listen, I think that's good news that we are getting some of our injured players back. Because let's be honest, we needed them. We need them because at the moment we are we're on the bare bones, and it just shows us that when we get injuries, how threadbare our squad is, and how that we can't cope with injuries. We're not like Man City or Chelsea or Liverpool where a player goes off injured and we've got another player to replace him with. We don't have that luxury. So when our players get injured, we haven't really got nothing to replace them with. So I think trying to keep a majority of the squad as fit as they can be for the rest of the season should also be a priority, because if we get too many injuries, we're going to end up with a dead squad, and we're going to end up in a worse position than we already are in. So yeah, listen, it's great. Obviously, he didn't say anything on Aubameyang. Just he's got no updates. Pretty much expected that. The Guendouzi and Ozil situation, kind of, you could probably read into his generic answers, sort of saying that he, maybe that they're not willing. So maybe there is some kind of attitude problem. Listen, who knows? Who knows what's going on with Guendouzi and Ozil? Listen, they're both obviously on the blacklist at the moment, aren't they? So yeah, they're not going to. I don't think they're going to get into any of the squads. So yeah, I think Arteta, listen, he's got a big decision to make about bringing them back into the side. Does he stick to his principles, or does he bring them back in for the sake of the fact that we don't have anybody else to come in and do a job? But listen, I'll let you guys in the chat decide that, and you guys on the rest of the panel decide that as well. But listen, I personally think if you're gonna stick to some principles, then you've got to stick to them, and no player is the exception. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see, because we've got a lot of games coming up. They are coming thick and fast, and it just depends on whether or not Arteta decides to use them.
Yep.
So yeah, listen, how are you guys feeling about the game? So Sam, I'll come to you first.
Well, I mean, Norwich, on the face of it, they're a team we should be beating. I mean, no matter really what kind of team we've got available or not, Arsenal Football Club, our squad, should be able to handle Norwich and beat them comfortably, to be honest. They're bottom of the table. They've struggled lately. They don't look very good. Their past couple of games have looked quite poor. Pookie, our favourite Pookie, he's out of form. So it'll be typical if all of a sudden he found some form against us, of course. Our defence would probably let him in and probably let him score. We can let fucking McGoldrick score. We can let Pookie score for sure. That's true. So we'll find some magical way of letting him find the net. But but on the face of it, we are better than them. We should be beating them comprehensively. That is the long and short of it, really. And we've got a few players coming back now, and that should help things. I mean, for me, I'd like to see Suarez play. I mean, against Norwich, it shouldn't be that tough opposition to start off with. I think Wolves would be a lot tougher for him to start with. I think if he's fit enough to play and start, he should do that against Norwich. Give Bellerin a bit of a chance to rest again, as he did in the last game. So I feel quite confident. To be honest, going on our last performance, if we can keep up similar first half performance against Norwich, I think we can win the game, and it just depends really on what kind of mentality we show up with. If it's whether we were such a Jekyll and Hyde team, aren't we? Whether it's Dr. Hyde, or Dr. Jekyll or whatever, or who shows up really, innit? So yeah, we'll see. I feel confident anyway. I think Norwich is a team we should be beating, and I have a feeling we will beat them.
Yes. Yeah. Listen. It just depends on what Arsenal turn up as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it depends on our mentality, our attitude. Are we full up for it? Are we giving it 100%? I thought we started very well against Sheffield United. That first half I think was very good. I think if we could continue along the same type of vein as we did in that half, maybe the same formation, and do that against Norwich, I think we'll make life hard for Norwich. I think we should have some good chances, and we've got to see what happens up front as well. Because I'm actually worried about Aubameyang and Lacazette. I never thought I'd actually say that, but I'm actually worried about Aubameyang because the guy just stopped scoring. He seems to be completely out of confidence and unhappy. He doesn't seem happy with things. His body language is poor. I'm worried about Aubameyang, his form at the moment. I think maybe we should try and look at dropping him, putting in someone else. Put Saka maybe up there on the left wing and leave Nketiah in the middle, maybe, or just put Laka in the middle. I don't know. I mean, even Laka's not doing well either, is he? So I mean, they're a bit worrying at the moment, Laka and Aubameyang. But I think they've got chances against Norwich, so they'll have chances against Norwich, and hopefully they'll start putting a few chances away. Hopefully.
Yeah. And Simpy, how are you feeling about the game tomorrow?
I think this is probably the only game in our fixture list that we can actually feel confident about, judging by the games we've got coming up. Obviously, we've got the game against City as well in the FA Cup. I think this is the only one we can feel fairly confident about. I know Norwich they're not a walk in the park. Obviously, we saw that against Man United 2 or 3 days ago in the FA Cup, and they put up a good fight. Like Sam said, Pukki was on fine form at the start of the season. Everyone was like, "Oh wow, Norwich are really good actually." And then he just, after that 6-game or 8-game scoring streak, Norwich's form and Pukki basically just went down. And but yeah, just looking at stats wise here, Norwich are the lowest scoring team in the Premier League this season, with only 25 goals. And Norwich are the second team to concede the most goals as well, just behind Aston Villa. And then the rock bottom of the table on 21 points. I don't think it's not going to be it's definitely not going to be a walk in the park. But I'm sure we can win this. I think with the form, like Arteta mentioned as well, that the dressing room and everything seems a bit happy after those 2 wins. So why not carry it on by beating bottom of the league Norwich? I just hope they're not thinking it's only Norwich, the bottom of the league, we can do this. Just keep focused, and then we carry in that form into the Wolves game, then into the Spurs game, into the Liverpool game, into the Man City game, into the Leicester game. Because, like we've mentioned before, the fixtures coming up are rock solid, and I think using some of the subs, having those 5 subs, should help us out a lot. But it's just who's going to be fit to play, really. So the lineup for this game is going to be interesting, and how he's going to plan it, ready for the Wolves game on Saturday night as well. But yeah, I'm probably the most confident I've been. But yeah, we should definitely win this game, and hopefully keep a clean sheet. But I don't think so.
Yeah.
Sorry. I've just seen Nitesh's putting messages in backstage.
Yeah. Okay. So big up everybody in the chat room. I hope you're all doing well. Let's just add Nitesh in here.
There he is.
So big up everybody in the chat. Big up John, big up Taib, Melina, Omar.
Is that even the real Arsenal vlogs? I think that is someone else. It's a troll account.
Big up Miss Melina, big up VP as well, big up Tyrone. So yeah, big up all you in the chat. Remember, if you're new to the channel, do hit the subscribe button and do smash a like on this video. Nitesh, since you've come in, you're going to be in the hot seat. So how are you feeling about tomorrow's game?
I think like Arsenal always proves us wrong, Pukki is going to score. We should be winning the game. But I think like Sterling scored after a lifetime against Arsenal, which was his first goal, and we got him into some kind of form. I think Pukki is going to score tomorrow after a lifetime. But we should be winning the game.
Yeah. Exactly. Should have more than enough for Norwich to win the game, definitely. And you know, I know home advantage doesn't mean anything at the moment without the fans or anything. But now we're playing our first home game. We played 4 games away on the trot. You know, including the FA Cup. So now it's time to do, you know, to show what we're worth at home at the Emirates. You know, and I think it does mean a little bit in the players' heads to be playing at our ground. And you know, I think we should be able to give Norwich a hard time. We should be able to. And if we don't, well then fucking God help us all. Honestly, I mean, then what shambles we'll be then if we don't manage that.
Well, somebody in the chat's predicting a 2-1 win for Norwich. Mahmood is predicting a 2-1 win for Norwich.
Oh yeah, there's always the negatives out there, isn't there?
Let's have a look here. What else we got here?
Even a Danny Ceballos may look like Iniesta or Xavi against Norwich.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your iPhone is at 91%.
So I don't think
so Omar says we should win this one comfortably. Listen, I don't know. Listen, nothing's ever comfortable about an Arsenal performance, is there? Listen, watching Arsenal is like watching England. It's just nothing's comfortable.
All right, Ryan's confident. Ryan's just jumped in the chat. Big up Ryan, Mr. Arsenal podcast. He's very confident. He says we're going to win 4-0. 4-0. Wow.
Cheddar says 3-0 Arsenal.
Wow. I think we should win comprehensive. It's just whether, you know, it's just, you know, do we actually do it? Because, I mean, it'll be so typical to make it one of those difficult games where it's like 1-1 until the last 5 minutes. We get another last minute winner or something like that, you know, desperate last minute winner, and everyone all calms down. Oh yeah, we beat Norwich, and even though it was desperate, you know, last minute and rubbish, you know.
Yeah, if we have to win this game like that, then I think I will stop watching the Premier League fixtures and just watch the 2 FA Cup ties. That is if we reach the final.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
if we have to struggle against Norwich, what luck will we have in those 5 consecutive fixtures that we have, including 4 in the Premier League and the 1 in the FA Cup?
God knows. God knows.
At this point of time, go ahead, Dan. Sorry.
Listen, I'm slightly more confident, but then every time I get confident about Arsenal winning, they always pull a shit performance out of the bag, and then you end up. It's what you know. You confident, and then watching Arsenal when they lose, you know, and you're confident that they're going to win. You just come out with. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You just look stupid. So listen, I'm confident, but I wouldn't be surprised if we fuck it up somehow, because that's what we do. Because these group of players are inconsistent. Yeah, these players are inconsistent, and you know they don't exactly fill you with a lot of trust and confidence, do they? Some of these players. So it just depends on whether they turn up for me. And this is the type of game. This is the type of game that, because everybody's predicting we'll win, it's the type of game that we can come unstuck in, because Norwich are no pushover. Listen, I know they're at the bottom of the relegation. You know, they're fighting a relegation, and the likelihood is they're going to get relegated. But that makes them all the more dangerous. Yeah. That makes them all the more dangerous. And with our weak defence, listen, anything's possible. You know.
Yeah, but I just want to quickly address a comment from Chadwick that Melina last game, Luis played really well, but plus Luis is injured and won't play, and Luis is the best out of a shit centre-back bunch. Right now, since the Premier League has returned, I think Rob Holding is looking way better and the best centre-back right now that we have. So he's looking better than Luis. The only thing that Luis is looking better than Rob Holding probably is some of the aerial duels that he has gone into, and the ability to jump and go for those balls. But overall, if you see, I think Rob Holding is looking the best centre-back, and Tierney is looking the best defender right now.
Yeah, it's true. Agree. So who do you think can start tomorrow?
Martinez.
Pretty sure with that one.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll go around each of you in turn, and you guys can pick your lineup. So I'm going to start with Nitesh. Nitesh, give us your predicted lineup.
You want me to give my lineup or what Arteta will go with?
Well, I'd like you to give your lineup.
Yeah.
Who you would want to see.
Messi, Ronaldo. No.
I was going to say Manuel Almunia. No, but yeah, obviously it will be Martinez in goal.
Yeah.
On the left, Kieran Tierney. There's no doubt now. He's looking good. And apart from that, or you can call him Kieran Tierney, whatever you want to call him. And centre back will be Rob Holding, and probably Mustafi. He's not done too much wrong. Right back, I will still stick with Niles. Not gonna go for Cedric or Bellerin. If I want to bring in a substitute, I will probably bring in Bellerin. Sorry, for Cedric for towards the end of the game. But if it is my formation, I will stick to the formation that we played against Sheffield United, the 5 at the back with the 2 wing backs. So it will be Kolasinac as the wing back, and the right one will be Niles. And center, I think that day we went with Xhaka, and the other one was Willock.
Yeah.
So instead of Willock, I will start with Ceballos. Xhaka will be the same because Xhaka cannot move. So he stands there and he gives the other player some confidence that this guy isn't going to push forward. So I can push forward and I can come back. So this guy will be stationary as hell, and he's gonna be a lamppost who's gonna be standing there no matter what. So that is why I'll keep Xhaka there. And for the fans who are saying that we are winning every game with Xhaka in the team, let's give them some hope as well. They will watch the game because of that. So Xhaka there. Ceballos will be the one who will have the freedom. He can push forward and come back. On the left-hand side, again, Saka in attack. Right-hand side, Pepe. And center, I'll start with Aubameyang still. I think Norwich is the game where he can get his confidence back, and if he can start scoring, we need that because we have games against Wolves coming, and Wolves and other teams, as you know, the 5 big fixtures that are lined up. So I think I will not drop Aubameyang just yet. I don't think he has any commitment problems. Even if he's leaving, he will want to leave on a high. He's still in the contention for the Golden Boot as well this year. So I will not drop him initially. I will play him. If he's bad, then I can probably even change him at halftime.
Yeah. So listen, I'll get into my lineup, and then I'll go to Sam after me. So yeah, listen, I think it's obviously going to be Martinez in goal. I think it's going to, I think now this is where I'm going to obviously change it up because I'd like to see Suarez. Listen, I know he's only just come back from injury, but yeah, listen, I'd like to see him. I've had enough of Bellerin. He just does nothing for me. So I'd like to see Suarez at right back, and then maybe the centre backs, obviously Mustafi and Holding, yeah, because David Luiz is not going to play, even though he wants to play. He's probably not going to play. So Mustafi and Holding, and then obviously Tierney, and then because I think he's going to go back to this 4-3-3. I don't think he's going to do the whole formation thing that he did on Saturday, even though it did work. It absolutely worked. So yeah, the 3 in midfield is going to be for me. I'd like to see. So Torreira's back in full training, right? He's back in the.
Yeah, he's been assessed. He's been assessed.
Yeah, so obviously, if Torreira's fit, then I'd like to see Torreira, Xhaka, because I think Xhaka can do a job with Torreira there, and then have Bukayo Saka in that 10 role. Then the front three on the right, Pepe, Lacazette through the middle, and Aubameyang on the left. I think that could be quite a decent team. Yeah, I think that could be quite a decent team.
I just want to say one thing quickly. I don't think Xhaka and Torreira will play in the same team because they both are expected to play the same role at the base of the midfield. So if Torreira plays with Xhaka, probably he will not be able to do that because he will be the one who will have to float around, and I don't think he will want to do that yet. That is, Arteta will not want to do that yet. And the second thing is, if he's fit, he will not start crucial fixtures coming up, and he will probably want to just give him like 10-20 minutes in this one and then take the risk in the Wolves game.
Yeah, listen, that was the lineup I'd like to see. Not saying it's going to happen, but that's the lineup I'd like to see. Sam, let's go to you. What would you like to see in this game?
I'd like to see the similar formation we saw on Saturday. To be honest, I thought it worked well. We actually saw some good play, and we actually looked actually quite good in the first half doing that. So it's like a hybrid 3-4-3 really, where you're using wing backs, using three defenders and two wing backs, and then you use three up front. So I would go for Martinez in goal, obviously. Then I would have the three at the back. I would have I think. I'm not sure. Is David Luiz fit again?
He's been assessed. Tomorrow.
Okay, well, if he's fit again, then I would like to see David Luiz, Holding, and Mustafi as a three, and then I would have left wing back Tierney, right wing back. See if Suarez can. I'd like to see Suarez given that role. See if he can do it. And then the three in the middle, then it'll be Xhaka again, because he's the only option we've got that deep lying role. And then for me, I'd like a Guendouzi next to him, and then a Willock ahead of him, more attacking role. And then up front in the three, I'd like to see. I'd like to see Saka out left and then Aubameyang in the middle, to be honest. And then you got Pepe out right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, Man City have agreed a deal with Bayern Munich for the sale of Leroy Sané. £54 million. It's just flashed up on Sky Sports. So it looks like he's on his way to Bayern Munich, which is a real shame because he was a talent. He was an absolute talent, and I'd like to have seen him stay in the Premier League.
That's him gone then. Yeah.
So he's off to Bayern Munich. So listen. I don't think Aubameyang's going to play through the middle because Arteta doesn't seem to rate him there, and which baffles me because.
It's what we wanted, wasn't it? That's the thing. We had the team what we wanted. The team that actually play will obviously be different, won't it?
Yeah, he'll put his boy in. His boy Nketiah in up top.
Big up 12 people. Big up 12 people watching this live. Do fire them likes up, and big up to everybody who's watching on Facebook as well. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the Blind Gooner, please do hit the subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And Simpy, let's come to your team. So who would you have?
So Martinez in goal. I'll probably go Maitland-Niles, Down the right, centre back. I'm gonna go definitely Mustafi. Can't believe I'm saying definitely Mustafi, and Rob Holding. Then down the left, obviously Kieran Tierney, and also I think down the left because obviously we come against Max Aarons, and I think having Tierney on that left back, also pushing on along with Saka, I think they'd definitely be able to, like strength wise, be able to bully Max Aarons off the ball. Then midfield, Granit Xhaka. I quite liked Joe Willock in the first half. I thought he did okay, but pretty much like every player after we finished that first half, the second half, everyone was awful. Then I'll probably go. I think he's gonna. Well, yeah, I think probably Danny Ceballos just in front of Willock and Willow and Xhaka. Actually, my team's the same as Grant. Then on the left, Saka, as I mentioned, I think Saka's got the strength as well. I've seen it before to push Max Aarons off the ball, and I think in their midfield they'll have Buendia, Cantwell, and I know Cantwell dives he's down on the floor quite a lot. So I think Xhaka and our defence will probably be able to bully him quite a bit, which is something we've not been able to do for a while. Then down the right, put Pepe in. Hopefully, he can have another okay-ish first half, but instead of just a good half, I want a good 90 minutes. And then if not, probably bring on Nelson, because we've not seen Nelson for quite a while now. Then down the middle, pretty much like everyone, I'd like to see Aubameyang down the middle and put Lacazette onto the bench and bring him on if we need to. If it's not going our way, maybe we could take off Saka, push Aubameyang to the left, and then bring on Lacazette. And then left-hand side, I'd go with Saka. So Saka, Orba, Pepe, Willock, Xhaka, Ceballos, Tierney, Mustafi, Holding, Ainsley, and Martinez, and then bring on Nelson, Laka, and Cedric Suarez, and maybe Guendouzi as the game progresses.
Yeah. Listen, that's not a bad team, not a bad team at all. And obviously. Listen, obviously we're at home, and I want to ask you guys about that. Do you think it'll make any difference, or do you think it's just, the fact that we are at home? Do you think it will make any difference to the players?
I think it's going to make
because there's no fans there. Do you think it's just doesn't matter where we play?
I think it's going to make a little bit of a difference, but nothing major. So I think it's just the same ritual you've got going to games, really. Obviously, you're in the home stand. You're used to the journey. I know it might sound silly. Yeah, you're used to the journey. You're used to the environment. You're used to all the staff as well. So you'll obviously see the groundsman at the game and security and all the people like that. Just, I don't know. It's probably a bit of a silly reason, but you feel more like you're at home. And I think even though it's not the home, no fans are there. I think the atmosphere and everything will be a bit more on the side, but only ever so slightly, not compared to with fans in the stadium.
Yeah, and Nitesh, for you, do you think it will make a difference playing at home?
No, I don't think so. We have had all our games so far away from home. We have won 2, lost 2, so I think it won't make a difference. And with respect to even home games, I don't think there will be any difference now. And if you remember one thing, that when we were playing with the fans, the away games, we were struggling. We lost or drew like around 6 or 7 games last season. And even this season, our record wasn't that good. But since we have resumed the season, it's again been a mixed bag. We have won 2, lost 2. So I think if the things are changing in the away games as well, I think it could change in the home game as well for us. So you never know. And that exactly proves that there is no advantage, home advantage or away advantage. Even in the Bundesliga, we saw that. One more thing, CP said that maybe Tierney and Saka can bully Max Aarons. Actually, what I would like to add is that if you saw that a lot of players tried to bully Van Bissaka, but they couldn't. So what they do is the left back and the left winger, they just combine and they just play a 1-2 pass and go around him. So that is what even we need to do against Max Aarons. We don't need to try to take on him. We can just play the 1-2 pass and just go beyond him and then create the chance. If we do those simple basic things, I think we can beat Norwich easily because he's one of their best defenders, I think, in the team.
Yeah, that's a fair point, Nitesh.
Yeah. So Sam, I'm going to come to you. Do you think it'll make a difference playing at home?
I think statistically we've seen everywhere there's been closed games that playing at home doesn't really have the same advantage anymore without all the fans and everything. But at the same time, I hope it gives us a slight advantage because, you know, it is that you still have that feeling as a player you're playing at home. You know, it's a ground you're used to playing at. It's supposed to have some kind of meaning to you. And, you know, and also this is our first time now playing at home. I'm hoping that could give us some kind of little spark or, you know, some kind of motivation that, okay, now we're actually playing at the Emirates. Because we've played our first 4 games since the restart away. So I'm hoping to finally come back to the Emirates so that actually does mean something to the players in their you know, their motivation for the game. I'm hoping that, and I'm hoping it does make some kind of a difference.
Yeah. Listen, I think the fact that there's no fans there is a big minus for us because whenever we played at home, the fans have always been right behind the team. You know, we've always been a club that thrives off fan support, and the team seems to thrive off the home support, which is why we've got such a good home record. But listen, we're still at home, we're still in familiar surroundings, and it's not going to be as an advantage as it would normally be, but it's still going to be a slight advantage. I think it's still going to be a slight advantage because, you know, like you say, we're on our familiar turf, familiar surroundings with the dressing room and all that, and the benches and everything. That makes a little bit of difference to the players. But yeah, it's not going to be the same as with a packed stadium. But listen, irrespective of being at home or away, we've got to get the job done. We've got to get those 3 points. We've got to keep winning. You know, like Arteta said in his press conference that every game is a must-win. Not that I think we'll win every game, but it's every game is a must-win.
Yeah,
and it's just whether the players can generate that on the pitch. Now, listen, we know that these group of players don't have the mental capability of putting a run together. So it's up to them to prove everybody wrong. Do I think they'll do it? Probably not. But can they? Listen, if they put their minds to it and play to their full potential, then possibly. But if and actually it happening is 2 different things. So yeah, we've just got to be a little bit patient on that. So let's go to score predictions, and I'm going to start with Simpy. Your score prediction?
Okay, so I'm going to go for a 3-1 Arsenal win with Aubameyang getting on the score sheet and getting his confidence back. So Aubameyang brace, and then Aubameyang brace and a Pepe 3-1, and then we're going to have a scuffle at the back, and Pucky's going to slide it in between the posts.
The Pucky in between the posts, we like that, don't we?
He's going to slide it in between the posts.
Slide in the Pucky.
So yeah, it's going to be 3-1, Aubameyang 2, Pepe 1, and Pucky with a defensive error makes it 3-1. So yeah, 3-1 Arsenal.
It'll be fucking Mustafi, innit? He's going to fucking do something, isn't he?
And Sam, your score prediction?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I think we definitely have the possibility tomorrow, if we want to really actually win comprehensively. At the same time, you never know what kind of, you know, team mentality and, you know, what they're going to do. You know, we've always got those mistakes there at the back ready to go. You know, Aubameyang and Lacazette up front are just firing blanks at the moment. Like a 70-year-old man. So it's difficult to predict. But listen, I'm going to go for. I think Norwich will probably score because we're always good at letting fucking everyone score. But I think we're going to score some goals. I'm going for 3-1 as well, to be honest. I would love to see Aubameyang score again. I hope he does score. I'd like to see maybe Saka score. That'd be nice to get him on the score sheet. And I'd like to see Pepe score as well, get him on the score sheet again. But yeah, I reckon a 3-1 to Arsenal.
Yeah. And Nitesh, your score prediction?
I am stuck between a 4-1 and a 4-2, but I think score 4 goals, I guess. If we are playing like last time, we'll score 4. I think Pepe will score 1, Aubameyang will score 1, probably Nketiah and Lacazette will score 1 each. So 4 goals, and Pookie and Cantwell will probably score for them.
Pookie.
See, I'm going for my score prediction is going to be slightly different to you guys. I'm going for 3-2 to Arsenal.
Wow.
Because I do think I think we'll keep. I don't think we can keep a clean sheet, and I think Norwich will get 2 goals. I think Campbell and Aarons will score the goal for Norwich, and I think for Arsenal. I think it will be Aubameyang, Saka, and Pepe who will get the goals. But yeah, 3-2. Listen, I just think it's going to be one of them games. I think it's just going to be one of them games, and Norwich are fighting for their life. They want to try and get any kind of result that they can. And listen, we're weak. We are such a weak team when we're under pressure, and I just think Norwich are going to come and have a go, and I think they'll exploit our weaknesses, because let's be honest, there are a lot of weaknesses in this team, and if form goes out the window when you're playing us, do you know what I mean? Like we.
It's nothing. There's nothing like a bit of Pookie to exploit our weaknesses, is there?
Do you know what I mean? Like Brighton had a a no-win record, and then they came and won against us. So listen, form goes out the window when you're playing Arsenal.
Pookie been having a dry spell. Cheddar says yes, very much.
Yeah,
and our defenders can convert into a cheap whore anytime. They can spread their legs and take anything in.
Yeah.
So,
Pookie
bloody Taib, Susanna Reid. Honestly, I know Cilla Black. I'd rather have Cilla Black, as you suggested the other day. I'd rather have her.
Susanna Reid.
Is that what's her name? Isn't that the one who sings? Isn't it?
No, that's one from Thingy, isn't it?
That's the one from
TV, morning TV.
Good Morning Britain. She presents with Piers Morgan.
Susanna Reid. Let's have a look.
Yeah, she presents with Piers Morgan.
he loved us. He loved us so much. He left.
He said, "Let's have a look," and he dropped out of the video.
He loved so much. He'd gone for a crafty one.
I think he fell into her. You know what?
Yeah. Simply read out some of the chats for us while Sam's obviously having a wank over Susanna Reid.
So Kevin sent me his team as well. So he's gone for a 4-3-3. He's gone for Tini left back, Mustafi holding, and Maitland-Niles as right back. Midfield trio, Xhaka, Ceballos and Guendouzi, and then Saka, Orba and Pepe.
He's back.
That was quick.
Yeah. Do fire up the likes, guys. Do fire up them likes and do subscribe if you're new to the Blind Gooner. Come on, listen. I'm well into the on the road to I want to get my first. I want to get 1,100 is my first target, and then my ultimate target, my next target is to get 1,500 subscribers. So yeah, please do subscribe to the Blind Gooner. And also, for you guys who are already subscribed to me, if you're not following Nitesh's page, go and give that a like. You can do that. Is just open up Facebook and search for Arsenal FC fans, and then hit like. So yeah, I'd appreciate if you could do that too. And let's add in Sam, who obviously is finished. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Susanna Reid can't be that good looking because you only lasted 30 seconds.
She was awesome. Oh, bloody hell, that was the quickest wank ever, that was. She's nice, Susanna Reid. Yes, I definitely would. I thought it was that what's her name? That fucking old bird who sings opera songs.
Susan Boyle.
That's it. Susan Boyle, her name is, right? Yeah.
Susan Boyle.
I thought he was trolling me with that, but no. Taib, I'll take Susanna Reid any day, mate. Definitely.
Jesus.
I used to remember the Tara Reid from American Pie, but
I do her as well.
Do you know what it is? This Arsenal Norwich preview is descending into talking about fucking fit women. You know what I mean? Like,
American Pie.
Yeah, a bit American Pookie.
Do you know what? Sam wants to spread Susanna Reid like Norwich is going to spread our defence tomorrow.
Yeah.
Split down the middle. Yeah.
A nice bit of split Pookie.
Yeah. It brings a whole new meaning to banana split.
Banana split with a bit of cream on it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, and now cheddar.
And then if it's got Oreo cookies, you want to get yourself down to the doctors. Yeah.
The Pookie cookie.
The Pookie cookie.
Yeah. So guys, let's listen. We've pretty much wrapped up the preview, but what we'll do is we'll take some questions. So yeah, fire in your questions and fire in your chats, and we'll have a little bit of a discussion before we wrap up.
Yeah, we got Youssef on Facebook said, yeah, we just need to be positive for the rest of our games. I believe if we can determine to win the remaining matches, I will be totally happy with the players.
And I can put forward a question to you guys. Apollo just asked the question on his group that the upcoming game, Norwich, Wolves, Spurs, and Leicester, how many points do you think realistically Arsenal will take?
Okay, so I'll start with this one.
Yeah.
Norwich, I think we'll get all three. Wolves, I think we'll lose it. Who was the other one? Did you say
Leicester and Spurs.
Okay, Leicester. Do you know what? Leicester, I think we'll draw it. It'll probably be a 2-2 draw, and then Spurs. We're obviously going to win because it doesn't matter how shit we're playing. We always pull out a result against Spurs because we always seem to get up for a North London derby.
So
let me say this: if we lose to Spurs, I'm going to hiding. Do you know what I mean? I'm going into hiding because I tell you what. All we're going to see is chat after chat from Liam Damon rubbing it in like massage oil on a hooker. Do you know what I mean? Just yeah.
If I share something with you guys, do you guys get the sound?
No. We just hear you.
I think you have to take out your headphones so it plays for your computer.
Yeah. What is it? What is it? Just because obviously of the copyright thing and all that.
Oh, it's I don't know. I don't think
not some red tube, is it?
No. It's a guy. It's a famous African guy.
So what did he do?
He says tough times never last. So I just want to give us it's an inspirational video for everyone, for all Arsenal fans.
Yeah, the only thing I'm going to say is, listen, copyright, YouTube and copyright.
Yeah, but it's a guy's done it's his own private video, though.
Nah, I think the copyright problem will be there. I think the only inspirational thing that we can send people is the red tube links, the right ones. The good one.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, listen, listen, YouTube copyright is funny. Facebook's funny as well. Do you know what I mean?
Even if it's only 10 seconds.
Yeah, because do you know what it is with Facebook as well? And obviously we're on the Tessa's page as well. But Facebook, you'll put something up on a video, and then about 3 months later, they're like, "Oh, sorry, you violated Facebook copyright rules," and they kind of just temporarily block your video until they've investigated it. But yeah,
they keep doing some stuff. No one has a clue what, when, and how, where they strike. Like they are sometimes like Arsenal. You can't predict them. So
yeah, I think Facebook is run by the Cronkies because they keep doing shit that nobody understands. You know.
Yeah.
And
well, I'll play it on my channel anyway. So
yeah,
try it out. If it works out for you, then probably we can play it anywhere then.
Yeah, Simpy, what else have we got in the chat?
So we got Tyrone Spurs defense is better than Arsenal's defense. Omar will draw against Leicester, win against Norwich, and Liverpool and Wolves will smoke us. Liam Damon.
What about you other guys? About the 4 games, your points. I think I said between 6 to 8 points.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yes. Simply give us.
Mine's the exact same as Daniel's. So lose to Wolves.
Norwich, Wolves, Leicester, and Spurs. How many points do you think we'll get?
Wolves are away.
Simpy was just finishing off. Then we'll come to Sam.
Yeah.
Simpy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for the exact same as Daniel. I think we'll lose to Wolves. We'll beat Norwich. We'll probably draw with Leicester. They're in bad form at the moment. And then Tottenham. I think we'll beat Tottenham. So I'll go for the exact same as Daniel.
7 points.
7, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Sam.
So Wolves is it Wolves away and Leicester away?
Yeah.
Leicester's at home.
Leicester at home, yes.
Leicester's
okay,
at
so
home.
Wolves away, Leicester at home, and Spurs away or home?
Away, yeah.
Away.
Okay, so Norwich tomorrow, including Norwich tomorrow as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Norwich tomorrow. I think we'll win tomorrow. I think we'll draw against Wolves. I think we'll lose against Leicester, and I think we'll draw against Spurs. So that's what 3, 4, 5 points.
5 points. Yeah, I said 6 to 8, and I think Simpy laughed and swallowed all the water in the process.
Yeah,
I'm not going to touch that one.
But I honestly feel that based on our current form, we may beat Norwich. We will probably draw with Wolves, beat Leicester, and probably end up losing to Spurs because we have a crucial game after that is City. I think last game is Spurs before City, right?
No, we got Liverpool.
Liverpool is also there. So probably we'll drop points against Spurs, but we'll beat Wolves and draw with Wolves and beat Leicester. So that is why I said between 6 to 8 points. We'll let Liam Davon live for a season at least. We'll not harass him too much. We'll take some of his polite comments.
Jesus Christ, that's going to be... If we lose to Spurs, our lives are not going to be worth living. Do you know what I mean? It's just...
We got Liam Damon on. We got Liam Damon on for that one.
Listen,
for North London derby, that'd be good. We'll both be sweating, won't we?
Yeah, because they were... they were very good against United, and we can't underestimate Jose Mourinho, even though he may have not done the best things for Spurs so far, but he is a winner. And Arteta, is he that good as a manager to beat Mourinho tactically? No chance. If you've seen his second half tactics.
Do you know the thing with Mourinho, though? All you got to do is rile him up, and he goes out of control. That's the only thing you got to do with Mourinho now is rile him up. And then he is.
But he's a much better manager than Arteta tactically.
Oh yeah,
His
of course he is. Yeah.
Game management. I mean, in the second half, the game management Mourinho can do ahead of Arteta. I mean, he's gonna make Arteta look like a little schoolboy in the second half.
Yeah, of course.
And
of course.
Arteta couldn't even respond to Chris Wilder's tactical change, so Mourinho is another level for him.
That is true. That's the thing. We just rode that game out against Sheffield United. That's what we did, and you know, we were lucky, really. I mean, yeah, it was a good performance in the end, but we were lucky. I mean, against Mourinho, he's gonna really know how to change the game to get more, you know, more out of their team. And they've got like Bergwijn and they've got Son. If they're in form, I mean, they're going to be giving us a lot of trouble.
I think if we're going to get anything against Spurs, we've got to do it in the first half. We've got to kill them off in the first half, because I've noticed with us in the first half we're decent. The second half we just fade away like a blooming. Do you know what I mean? Like a cinema screen. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if we can kill them off in the first half, I think we'll be all right. I think we could easily. And you know, listen, we've not played as well. Here's a stat: if we beat them, we'll have won the first North London derby at their ground.
Yeah.
Because we've not played at their ground. Last North London derby was at Wembley. So wouldn't it be nice to just flipping beat them for the first time at their ground, just to. You know,
see, one thing will be positive. One thing positive will be that the intensity in that game will probably not drop like we have seen in some of the other games, because it is a North London derby. So I think that is one thing that can be assured, that it will be more intense than the Sheffield game where the intensity is down.
Yeah,
but the
definitely.
But the problem is that tactically Arteta is very much at a bottom half of the table, if you see, if in terms of tactical changes and substitutions and all those things. So I am confident that we'll have a good first half. We will not have a bad first half, but nothing can be said about the second half. There is no guarantee what we may do in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so that is Arteta.
Arteta's a bit of a rookie when it comes to tactical decisions and, you know, making the decisions at the right time.
Yeah, game management.
So, yeah, that's what I mean. When it comes to game management, Arteta is very much needs to improve on that. But, you know, we also have to factor in that he might be, when he gets his own players in, his game management might be a little bit better then. But who knows? Listen, that's just speculation. There's a lot of questions still about Arteta, and there's more questions at the moment than there are answers. So we have to be patient, and we just have to wait and see what happens. And, you know, listen, it's there's a long time to go. You know, with Arteta.
One thing I just wanted to add is that I think it does not depend upon whether they are your players or not, because when you need to change things around, he doesn't do it at the right time. He just waits and waits and waits for like 70 minutes to pass by for some reason, and then he makes a change. If you say that he made a change and the player did not play according to him, that is understandable because he or she is not his player. But in this case, he is not his player. But the thing is, he doesn't make the change at the right time, and there is no tactical switch. It is just that one player goes off, another dummy comes in. It's like such a thing that
really. But see, the thing is, Nitesh, though, the thing is, right, what I'm saying to you is it's easier when you've got more of your players in. So say like if he brings in certain defenders and that he wants, it's easier. So say if, you know, like where, like, you know, if we're 2-1 up and we're trying to kill a game off, it's easier to go, okay, I know this guy, I'll handpick this guy. It's easier to bring this guy on at the right time just to shore up the game. I think when you've got next to no players that are yours, it's a lot easier to fuck up with the game management, because, you know, you've got to try and balance the getting it right and getting the result right, but you've got to balance it. Because I genuinely believe, right, that Arteta doesn't trust. There's not many players in this team that Arteta trusts. So what do? You know, it's very hard to put players into the team who you don't trust. But the problem that Arteta's got at the moment is that he doesn't have any other options. So it's sort of like a catch-22 thing. And, you know, you're right. Yes, his game management has been questionable, and he does need to sort his game management out. But I do think a lot of that will come when he gets his own players in, who he probably.
Well, the thing is, I mean, one thing is, I mean, first of all, he should, even though he hasn't bought the players himself, he should know what they're good for and what they're not good for, and where their strengths and weaknesses lie. To me, that shouldn't be an excuse at all. Really, he should know these players well enough to know how to use them best, and where to utilise them to their strengths. And second of all, it's got nothing to do with tactics either, because I mean, the tactic. I mean, you should be able to check if your opposing manager, you see he changes from a 4-4-2 to a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1 or something like that. You see his tactics change and his team changes, and they're taking control of the game. Then your natural instinct, or for me, the natural instinct should be to try and counteract that by making changes yourself tactically to stop them from taking advantage. And that's where Arteta unfortunately hasn't been good enough. He doesn't make those tactical changes. He'll change players out like for like a midfielder for a midfielder, a forward for a forward, bring on fresh legs. But there's little to no tactical change, and that's what's worrying, because that's when you let the other team take advantage of you, when you don't counteract their tactics.
Yeah, and that is where I said in the City game, if he did not want to bring in Luis, he could have switched to a back five with Niles coming in.
Yeah.
He could have done that, and that would have been a better aggressive option, because no matter what people say, it's actually a back three, because those two players, Kolasinac and Maitland-Niles, they do not defend that well. Maybe Niles is obviously a better defender than Kolasinac, but don't expect Kolasinac to defend too much. So if he did not want to play David Luiz, because knowing that he's a very slow defender and City has a fast attack, he should have probably switched to a back five where two wing backs would be there and attacking.
Exactly.
They would be attacking, but he did not.
It'd be interesting to see whether he uses that back five again.
Because that worked against Sheffield United.
That's what I'm saying. It did work well, and I think it would have worked. It would have worked against City, and listen, David Luiz did a lot better, against Sheffield than he did against City, and he was a lot more assured. Listen, the thing is, like, Sheffield are quite a physical team,
but their attack is very slow. They don't have any speed. City has a lot of speed in attack, so that is why David Luiz will survive. If that was
that's just finding your players to suit, like you say. You wouldn't use David Luiz against a fast team, because he just gets run around. You use David Luiz against a slower team, then he can be more dominant. But yeah, we need fast defenders, young fast defenders against the faster teams.
Yeah. Listen, it's interesting to see. It's interesting to see what happens.
I hope he learns from it. I mean, again, this is the thing. The critics of Arteta will say they don't like the situation where we have a manager who's learning on the job at Arsenal. The criticism is that you shouldn't be at Arsenal learning on the job. It's not like it's like for example, just for you to use an analogy, say you go straight from school and you're gonna get a job. You're gonna get a job doing something. Your first job's not going to be at Harrods, is it? Your first job's probably going to be at your local, high street store or whatever. And then you go from there after a few years of experience. You go on to Harrods. You don't start at Harrods. This is in the managerial world of football. You shouldn't be learning on the job, doing your so-called learning while you're doing at Arsenal. You should have done this, preferably done this previously with other clubs, or at least one other club beforehand. As a manager, that is. That's the criticism. So, but listen, I'm willing to give the guy a chance, because we know he's a smart guy. We know we can see, or at least we think we see, he has the aptitude and he has the ability to do this. He says the right things. We just have to make sure he starts doing the right things. And listen, if he learns from his mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes, but the thing is learning from them, right? So you don't repeat the same mistakes again and again. So for me, as long as he's learning from his mistakes and actually implementing changes and doing things differently going forward, then I'll be happy to see him develop. But if he keeps doing the same things and he doesn't develop, then that's when things start get worrying.
And then he won't have any right to tell Guendouzi or tell Ozil that you haven't learned or adapted, because even he won't have done the same thing in his role.
Yeah, Simpy, what are people saying in the chat?
So Tyrone said Arteta's going to use the back three against Norwich with Mustafi, Holden and Socrates. Omar was saying, yeah, exactly, Sam. Arteta should never have been given a job of such magnitude in the first place. Then him and Ty were joking about something about putting the cones out and stuff. Then Tyrone was also saying, Barcelona are going to let 3,000 fans in for the Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid game later on. So maybe we'll have something for the FA Cup, perhaps.
Simpy is really stressed. He's thinking in his head, food, Brighton versus United. And when you're like, okay.
Yeah.
I can see that on your face, Simpy.
Yeah. And then Tyrone again. We were saying when we play Spurs are going to get the first goal and they're just going to park the bus for the rest of the game. So
yeah,
it's a fair point.
If that happens, that will actually help us, like it helped United. They almost stole that game. When the second penalty was ruled out, if it was actually a genuine penalty, they could have stolen that game away from Spurs.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But listen, I think it's probably a good time to wrap up because Simpy is doing a watch along on his channel for the Brighton Man United game. So do go and check that out. So listen, Simpy, I'm going to start with you since you've got a show coming up. So just give your channel and platforms a shout out.
Yeah, thanks, Daniel, for having me on. And big up Sam, Nitesh, and thanks everyone in the chat for taking part. Yeah, my Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram is just here, so Simpy141. And do a weekly Fantasy Premier League show where we review people's teams and see how people did during the week. So we've got some games coming up tonight, which is why I'm doing the watch along. Also do FIFA 20 Road to Glory. And is that it? I think that's it. Yeah, so come and check out the watch along. It starts at 8 PM. So as soon as we finish this, I'm gonna have to sprint to the hob and start making food really quick and down it before the stream starts. So thanks, Daniel.
Yeah, and Nitesh.
Yeah, and you can find me on Arsenal FC Fans. And Sam, I thought you were fingering the Reed lady. And you can find me on Arsenal FC Fans on Facebook and on Beyond the Post on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube as well. And I have a website called beyondthepost.net where we post regular written content about football, cricket, and WWE. Thank you.
Yeah, and Sam.
Yeah, thanks for having me on as usual, Daniel. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure being on here with you, and then Simpy and Nitesh as always. We have a good time. Pick up everyone in the chat. It's a pleasure to see you guys. You make it so much fun. And big up everyone, and hope you guys have a nice evening.
Yeah, and listen, guys, thanks very much for tuning in. Remember, do go and check out all their socials and platforms, as they've just mentioned. And do subscribe here to the Blind Gooner if you are new, because there's content coming up. So tomorrow we've got the Arsenal v Norwich watch along. That's going to start at, I think the game kicks off at 6, doesn't it?
6:30, I think. 6, 6, sorry.
Yeah, 6. So we'll be on air at 5:30 at 5:30. So look out for that video. I'll put it up shortly, and then also I'll be doing other content as well. I'm not entirely sure, but I'll be working on some other stuff throughout the day tomorrow as well. So be sure to tune into that. And do keep liking the content and sharing the content and spreading it around. Tell all your friends. That really helps the channel grow. So I really appreciate that. And listen, until tomorrow, we're going to catch you all soon. It's a goodbye from me and a goodbye from the panel.
Sam, that
Bye.
looks
I'm
like
looking for ladies on Twitter.